Hey guys, welcome to an episode of Fangirls Assemble. We are back at the last show of November.
It's so weird, right?
I know.
Like
this
I felt
is a long month too.
It's like I felt like it took forever to happen, but then I'm like, oh no, it happened.
Yeah.
Especially leading up in the beginning of November, of course.
Yeah,
was like, yeah, it's a lot going on.
And we chose a very long series at the end of this. I was telling Kristan before this. Now, no one is surprised by me reading it the last minute. That's pretty normal. I'm also in the midst of like painting my house. So that
or you just got some cool new tattoos.
Cool. It's really weird tattoos.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking in my head, this is ADHD thing, I'm telling you, because I'm just like, okay, it's 60 issues. I told myself for weeks, it's just 60 issues. I don't know maybe where I got that number.
The 6-volume thing, maybe?
Maybe that's what it is. And so I was like, I'll be fine. And then I kept reading, I was like, wait a second. It keeps going. Oh no, it's 100. I did not allow enough time for this. But it's okay, we made it.
Yeah.
So tonight we're talking about DC Bombshells. Now, Kristan, I believe you can get some, if not all, of these. There we go. Jess.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
We Sorry, I forgot that you guys were girls and you're always on time. I'm used to...
We're always early.
I'm used to smelly boys. They're always late.
They're always late. They always choose loud-ass backgrounds on these videos.
You too, Jess.
Every time I open up StreamYard, I'm like, what's it going to be? And I'm like, oh, God.
Every time we judge it, it's great.
Yeah. Like, oh God.
The backgrounds I choose are loud?
Everyone.
Yeah, all of you.
And I say this with love and respect for everyone on this channel. There's some loud ass backgrounds.
You don't have to love and respect anybody but me. That's fine. Who are those other guys?
I've got processing issues, and my brain's like, oh God, this is relaxing. What a nice little nighttime setting.
It's not distracting. I think that's the big thing.
What is it?
It's I don't know, like it's a pixelated night sky.
Oh, okay. It's not from anything in particular?
No.
It's nice.
Background.
Yeah, I know. I guess I do have kind of big, loud ones. I try, I don't try that hard. If it fits the screen and it's part of the topic, I'm like, okay, let's just get it on.
Well, welcome, Jess. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for inviting me.
Jessica's recommended us to read Bombshells forever, which I mean, everyone has told me to read Bombshells. You've told us to read Bombshells because, kick-ass DC ladies leading the show, right? So I'm glad that we finally got to this. Now, before we talk about the book itself, we do have to give our plug of IST, where you can buy some of these books. I assume I will not say all of them because I don't know what's in stock and what's not anymore. It's called in stock trades, but 2020 is the year of maybe it's in stock trades, right? But that's not their fault. That means they're doing really good business. So you can get your books up to 50% off. Is the Black Friday sale still going right now?
It's happening.
Till Tuesday.
So I've got time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it stacks with your loyalty discount, so I've already bought books, too. I bought presents, though, from my dad. Spoiler, Dad, if you're watching. You bought some presents.
So cool.
I did 3 orders so far.
Oh, man.
Not
What'd you
huge
get?
ones, but
you want to tease it?
What's that?
What'd you get? You want to tease it?
Let me look real quick. I wanted to get, because you should probably finish your plug, but.
Oh, yeah. And if you spend $50, you get free shipping in the United States. And it's great. Great packaging, great shipping, great customer service. We love in-stock trades here more than any other site. Don't tell any other site I said that. Even though I will say that.
I said that. That's fine.
I will say that I've been really tempted to buy from Right Stuff more this weekend.
Ooh, those bundle
deals. They've got some manga bundles.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to put my books away. The bookshelves are up downstairs. The comic book room is painted. So now I just have to put my books away, and then I can buy more books.
Perfect. You should buy more before you get them on your shelves. So then you
have to reorganize.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll have to FaceTime you because I'm like, do I separate the omnibuses from the rest of the books completely?
I do.
I have 2 calxes, so I could.
Yeah, we could talk about that. I have a whole system.
Yeah.
I know Jess doesn't, so I'm not sure he can. You don't have a whole system for your organizing? Ish. A little bit, sometimes?
Well, I know where everything is 95% of the time, and I don't have any more floor omnis because they're all up off the floor.
Oh, that's exciting.
Relax. I've got not every shelf yet, but I have extra room. N-Man 40 suggested that I put double stack on my Kallax, which is fine. I put books that I'm not going to get to for a little bit, but I'm still interested in behind, and then put the books that I'm really interested in front.
Oh, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah, so it looks like this.
Okay.
Like the Guardians one. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's just regular stacked, but Fantastic Four is double stacked.
Okay.
You can tell by how many figures I have that it's not double stacked. Like Avengers is double stacked, and the Captain Marvel Carnage shelf is single stacked.
Man, see, I don't know if I'll ever have that many Omnis, to be honest.
Well, I mean,
maybe I will. Maybe I have more space.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Omnis. I've got plenty of hardcovers and trades that are just like next to where I was there.
Yeah, my goal is to separate the nice, like, chunky graphic novels and like manga I have from the rest, because I think it'll look nicer by itself. So I'm going to play around with it. And I've got more space for statues. They don't have to be on the shelf now.
More space for statues.
More space for statues. So someone asked, Jesse asked, where's the expert on DC Bombshells? Oh, there he is. So I thought you meant who. And I was like, well, obviously, the figures will tell you who the expert is. Yeah, so I guess we can get to it. So we're talking about the original DC Bombshells run, which on its own, not counting the annuals, which I did not realize while reading through it on DC Universe, is 100 issues. I wish I had allocated more time to go back and read the annuals because I missed a couple of things. I think there's some, because they didn't put it in the run on the app. But yeah, so it's the original 100 issues. There is another DC Bombshells United, which I have the first couple issues of, just because of Donna. It's the only reason. But yeah, so this, if people at home watching this, I think most of you already know, but this is like a World War II era setting in the DC universe retelling. But it focuses primarily, although there are some of them like typical male characters from DC universe, primarily the female characters. So like the first arc is really heavily on like Batwoman, who instead of being like a Batwoman is a Batwoman, like plays baseball, like League of Their Own style, which is great. And got Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Stargirl, which I did not recognize her name when they told us in the book. I was like, oh yeah. And then a few others like Harley and Ivy and just a lot of ladies. So they take the main stage with some familiar villains with just different outfits and slightly different stories to match the World War II era. And you have people in all sorts of countries and backgrounds during that time, which if you're a history buff like me, I love retellings of that. And I'm big on history. So I loved like the Soviet Superman book and stuff like that. Red Sun, there you go. And yeah, so it's written by Margeurite Bennett. It has several different artists. So this is mine and Chris's first time reading it. Jess has obviously read it before. I'm a longer-term DC fan. Kristan, not so much. So it's going to be an interesting conversation because Kristan, for a lot of her, there's a lot of characters here you're not going to know. So
not at all. I still don't know.
Easter eggs. Well, and I was missing some too. But yeah, the Easter eggs aren't. I've been curious, excited to talk about. Because like I wonder how this works for a completely new to not completely new DC reader, but like mostly new to DC reader.
Do you want me to start there?
I thought you were doing this because you were nervous.
No, my face just got itchy all of a sudden.
Oh.
He may be nervous. I did message him. I was like, hey, this is what's happening with me in volume 1, which I'll start with. So
yeah, I want to hear about it because it's important to know this. If this is newer reader friendly, which I think it probably isn't.
Well, I thought it would be more than I felt.
Yeah.
So we'll start
More
with that.
reader friendly than you felt?
Yeah.
Like
so
newer reader, yeah.
Volume 1 took me days to get through. Days. I kept starting it and I was like, I have no idea who these people are. Supergirl, now I know. I've read a million issues of it, but I mean, ish. I at least know their names and I can tell them apart because Supergirl and Stargirl didn't know the difference the entire like first volume. Because what they also didn't do, unless I just missed it, which is possible, they didn't say, yo, what's up? This is Stargirl and stuff at the beginning. They just kind of threw you and were like, it's Kara.
No, and
it's, you know.
True. I knew Kara was Supergirl because of the name. And I only have a recent involvement with Stargirl because of the show. So they said it in Courtney. I was like, I'm sure she's someone. Yeah. Who is she? And so I didn't know until she put on the outfit. I was like, oh shit.
And then I'm like, don't know who that is. They're both blonde. They're the same person. I don't understand who's who. So I had that consistent confusion for the first volume. I will say once I slogged through the first volume, the other ones got better and I understood more of what was happening. But that first one, no. I was just like, I am going to have such a bad time with this. Like, this is going to take me ages to read. But yeah, no, it definitely got better. I liked certain characters, obviously, more than other characters. I cared more about certain things that were happening more than other things. One thing I want to ask, this is just random, so I'm just going in with the random questions. I'm sorry. But, so Constantine.
Yeah.
Calling Zatanna Kid. Is that a thing he does? Just generally? Or is this just in this book? Because he calls her kid every time they talk, and it was bothering me. Because then they ended up making out, and I'm like, stop calling her kid. It's weird.
I think it's a euphemism from back then for a guy to say to a girl back then.
But like Steve Trevor didn't do that. Or like some of the other guys didn't do that, right?
He's also British. So it may be a British thing.
Yeah, I mean, is it? Because I was just bothering me.
I will say, I've read a ton of Constantine. I've read more, but I've read some of their interactions, like Justice League Dark, and I didn't see it there. But they are a classic, like, couple. For sure.
So she wasn't maybe that much younger than him.
No.
For him to call her kid a lot. Okay, so maybe that's a thing I just don't understand.
Euphemism, like sweetie and stuff.
Okay, interesting. Weird.
You get it, kid? No?
Yeah, Jessica says he uses pet names like a 40s movie star. Love is more common now, but yeah, it's a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, like Humphrey Bogart.
Creepy, then.
Humphrey Bogart saying, here's looking at you, kid, in Casablanca.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Just went over everyone's head. Even though I've seen it a million times. People out there probably haven't even seen Casablanca, which is a crime.
Everyone's throwing it up now.
Like, perfect.
Like, okay, that makes sense. That's
okay, good.
Good. I'm less weirded out by it now.
That's what weirded you out in this book?
There's some other things.
Well, first of all, when I was talking to Maddie about it, when she invited me on the show, I said, Kristan's going to love it because all the girls are making out with each other all the time. It's so gay.
I have things to say about that, but go on.
Oh, you do? Okay,
I do.
Well, I'm interested in what you have to say about that. Because I thought this was, first of all, this book couldn't have happened. I'm just going to talk about changing, not changing morals, but the change of what is acceptable now compared to maybe even 15 years ago. To put out a book, DC, that has no real blood or anything in it, so it's not really mature. You can't tell a kid, you can't rate it so that a kid can't read it because it's not really bloody at all, to an extent. And there are women just making out with women, and it's no big deal. And I don't think that could have happened, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
No, for sure. Well, and especially with like a book like this, like you're saying, and we didn't see a lot of the main guy characters that we normally do. Normally they would still have them in here. And for the most part they don't. And once they do, they're very much like characterized differently in a way that I really liked. I thought a lot of them were a lot more relatable. They're more vulnerable.
A lot of the
guys that they had in here, like Steve Trevor, I feel like is characterized a lot more vulnerably. Same with Arthur, Constantine, Tim Drake, even.
Constantine started out as a rabbit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like it's definitely something that for DC, because usually Marvel's the one, right, where you're like, yeah, Marvel's the one that's always going to give you the new progressive stuff, and DC not so much, I feel like. So I was surprised.
Yeah, for them to do that, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because, well, it sort of surprised me, and then I thought it's cool that they did this, and it'll be great when we get to a point where it doesn't surprise me, where it's just part of a comic book. If a same-sex couple wants to kiss, it's just part of the. I would say this is one of the first steps. Although I guess North Star getting married back in the '90s was a big step, but having them just make out and it's not a big deal makes me feel like the portrayal of same-sex couples or singles. Yeah, couples or singles. This is like the beginning of it not being a big deal. Maybe we get to the point sooner rather than later where it's not surprising and it's just part of it's a supporting part and not a bigger part of the deal. If I'm making my sense.
No, definitely. I think there is something to be said about that it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Now, so Chris and I talked a little bit about it because on one hand it's wonderful. On the other hand, there was a couple instances where like, well, some of these couples got together and it didn't feel like there was a real like development that we got to see. It just kind of happened. And so part of me loves it. And part of me is always worried. I'm like, okay, is this just like a male gaze deal? You know what I mean? Because like, or is this something that's like truly developed well? Because some couples really were. Like, well, Harley and Ivy always wonderful. Yeah. And some couples are just there. And you're like, what? Although Batwoman was playing around with all sorts of people. They were like, I could not follow that girl's trajectory.
I couldn't like, either.
I love this woman so much. And Renee's like, want to go home with me? And she's like, yeah.
like, yeah, I'm just going to leave everything I know that you've known this entire time. I've written love letters this whole book, but I'll go with you, girl. Like, what happened?
I don't know. They saw each other again. And she's like, nah. But, at least I guess some of them could be a player. But she just dipped on that girl. So,
she's just like, whatever.
Jesus, I'm going with this lady.
I like the part where, I have them all with me, but I like the part where Batwoman was getting taught Jewish history from somebody, a younger girl in the, I think the Jewish ghetto. And it was like I felt like it was really well researched by Margeurite Bennett and Batwoman was learning a lot about her Jewish history that she didn't even know. So I thought that was a good part.
Yeah, that was even cool because, Batwoman's the adult in the situation. And she was like, I didn't know a lot of this. And, you're teaching me a lot. And that kid, like, really knew what she was talking about. It was just cool to see her being receptive of that and treating her like, a peer in that way.
Yeah.
I think like one of my favorite parts I lean to, because I think there's a lot in here, and part of me feels like it could be a little more condensed because I really enjoy it, but there's a lot happening here. And I can see for Kristan, I was like, this is going to be a lot to throw at you if you don't have previous DC knowledge.
And the character changes like back and forth, and I'm just like, what? I wanted that to tone down a little bit.
Yeah. But before we get to the big changes, I really want to talk about how there's a scene I really liked, and spoilers, guys. But after Stargirl dies, this is pretty early. There's a moment between Diana and Kara, so Wonder Woman and Supergirl, that I really appreciate the way they talked about grief. I thought was really profound and really well.
That was really good. Yeah,
that I really liked.
What is that in this first one?
It's 2 or 3, I think.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
I'm not sure. I read it all the issues together on DC Universe, so I don't have the trades. I just sort of like
right. And she's still alive on the cover of 2.
Yeah.
So maybe 3 or 4.
It felt like it was kind of far in there.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, I'd like to. I missed that part, reading everything quickly again today, so I'd like to.
Yeah, because she brings Kara back with her. Because right before, and I also really liked, like, after this happens, Batwoman wants to comfort Kara, and Amanda Waller's like, no, that's not for you to do. You're not a healer. That's not your business. Basically, like, motion that Wonder Woman is. That is the person who should be helping her, which we've seen throughout the book, because we've seen Diana be more of the healer, the more of the loving personality, like towards Steve Trevor, who in this story is very weak. He's very like mentally drained. He's gone through some like shell shock, which I love. I love seeing letting this guy be vulnerable, letting him show what that's like to go out of war, right? Elliot, I didn't see Ollie in the book, but I did take a screenshot of Roy, because Roy was in there for like two different like panels. I saw him in the background. That's it, because he was with I think Black Canary. But anyways, I thought that was really nice. Oh, all the statues are. I mean, like not all the statues, because some of them have funny looking faces, but a lot of the statues. Yeah, the Wonder Woman one is not good. The Superman and Power Girl one, awesome.
Oh, the old style.
Yeah, when they were like with their outfits from here, where they look like they're, you know.
Yeah.
So he has that crazy mustache.
Oh, I love that.
I was like, wow.
But yeah, I think I wanted to talk about that before we talk about the changing of things, because there's a lot of changing back and forth between different characters, groups, and narratives, and they're grouped together in certain ways, which is nice. Where it's like they tell you this is part 1 of 6 of this story. That being said, there's like a rotation of artists throughout this.
Some of them are rough.
80% really is good, but there's a 20% in there. You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to get the other Marguerite back, or Mirka and Dolfo?
Yeah.
You know? Like, I just wait. Like, please get this back. This person, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't remember who it was. Like, I don't really want to name names, but there was one artist that, like, when they took over one issue, it was just like one issue in the whole thing. All the backgrounds gone. No more backgrounds. Can't do them, apparently. I can't really do characters great either, but it was bad. It's bad.
But yeah, Mirka, I love her art, which I've been wanting to read her new series on Natural. But I really enjoyed her more like anime-ish look a lot. So Mark has a quick question. Is it better to read this in trade or hardcover? You could really go either way. They made a deluxe, I say quote unquote deluxe, but it didn't really collect any more than the trades did. So it wasn't a really good value for your buck. And I don't think they even continued it.
How many trades did it keep? It didn't contain all 5 or 6 trades, did it?
No, from what I understand, the deluxes contained the same amount as a trade would. Like as a single trade would. Now, I might be misspeaking. Someone in the chat can help me out. But I remember seeing that and thinking, I'm not going to buy this then. Because there's no point.
Right.
It's odd.
I can tell Mark that I'm perfectly happy with my trades.
Yeah.
And I love hardcovers. But I decided not to upgrade. Probably for the reason Maddie's saying. Yeah,
I remember looking into it and I was like, that's not worth it. And I don't think they even finished it. But you can read it all in the DC Universe app, which is what myself and Kristan did. And I'm happy with that. Like, I'm happy to read it that way. If maybe I'll collect it one day if it comes out in a nice omnibus or something. But besides that, if I get these on discount, I'll buy them. If not, I'm fine. And sorry if I'm talking too much and monopolizing. It's that time of night.
You have a time of night when you just come alive and start talking?
It's when my medicine wears off. It's just 11. There's no filter. It's just brain to mouth.
No, I think that's what makes a good show. So, Kristan, do you feel like you were able to overcome eventually and enjoy the books? I mean, at least get to a point where you understood enough about the characters that you were able to get into the story at least at some point through these?
Yeah, after that first volume, like it all made more sense. I didn't get any of the references, I'm sure, because I couldn't possibly. So, I mean, half the time
they give you a bunch of characters.
Yeah, and half the time I was like, these are all real characters, right? Like, whenever the Batgirls appeared, I was like, are these just for the story, or is that a thing? Like, because I really liked them. I love that storyline.
Oh, and you would love them in the comic books too. Like the blue one, Harper, is awesome.
She was awesome. Yeah,
she's great. But not all of the Batgirls were real characters, I think.
But the main one. That's kind of what I was like, is
Harper,
she just for this, or is she real?
Cassie, the blonde one.
Blonde Batgirl?
Yeah, what's her name?
Was that Bet?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I'm such a bad DC fan right now, but I haven't read that run. I know her as a oh no. They're gonna kick me out of here. Orphan? No, that's not it.
Spoiler?
Spoiler. Yeah, right?
I'm just looking through here trying to see who all, I forget who all now was in the Batgirls. There's
just Ashcraft says, I love this series, obviously, and it's definitely very fanficky in the way that sometimes rushes and tells stories in vignettes with abrupt setting and character changes. Yeah. And so I think that's why I knew as I was reading this, I was like, I'm going to enjoy this more than Kristan would, just because I have those characters in my brain already.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a good point. It's a good way to put it, like fanficky, because it's like...
It is very fanficky.
Yeah, and I love fan fiction, but you obviously need to love fan fiction, you have to know the characters, and I didn't. So there was definitely tons that I feel it was probably, especially in that first volume, I'm like, I'm lost. I eventually picked it up as far as what was happening, but I'm still like, I don't know if these characters aren't like this. Clearly they aren't, because I know this is like an Elseworld story, but I don't know what aspects.
Speaking again of like some of the characters that were already together, I'm thinking in comparison of like Mira and Arthur, because Mira and Arthur and Diana and Steve are two different couples that you have a chance to watch them grow into a couple, whereas a lot of the ladies you don't, except for like Poison Ivy and like, well, I guess Renee and Kate, but they were already a thing, and she was definitely cheating on her homegirl back home. I would have liked a little more like gushiness developing between some characters,
Yeah, that everyday character development. The stuff that Maddie and I love, like them going to the grocery store,
like the little flirting, and then at the end it's like dramatic, they kiss,
Yeah, story development.
Brown, Freddie, thank you.
That's right.
I have to read those runs, because I haven't.
I need to read those runs too. I haven't read them either.
We can do it together.
Sure.
So people don't think I'm a fake Batgirl fan, because I've read so much Barbara Gordon Batgirl. I love her. I love The Birds of Prey. I've read a lot of Gotham City Sirens, but I haven't read a lot of the other like Batgirl characters.
Right. I haven't either.
And people say that they're superior.
There's a lot of people that love Stephanie Brown, was the most Batgirl girl of them all. So I want to read that. Part of it was that both of those series were out of print for a long time.
Yeah.
Now it's back in print, but it doesn't matter. You've got it on your DC app,
which I'm so thankful for.
Which I am totally going to start reading stuff
It's
on.
really good. It's a very easy to use app, especially compared to Marvel Unlimited.
Oh, okay.
And you can make reading lists, like little playlists almost, which I love. So I just make a playlist of everything I want to read. So it's all together, which is great.
Because it's becoming clear to me, let's say I have 20 years left on this earth. I'm not going to be alive by the time Bronze Age Superman and Batman come out as Omni. They're waiting till like 2035 to put those out. But on that app, I can read those stories. And those, to me, Bronze Age Superman and Batman were some of the most fun stories in the Bronze Age. So that's how I'm going to read. And of course, the Silver Age fun stuff. So that's, I can't wait to start reading that. I have the app. I just don't have my iPad right now.
That's good.
Yeah.
So let me answer a couple questions before we talk more about it. Sorry, Jess, cover your face. I'm sorry I'm late. Thank you so much for discussing this book series. I've never read any of the Bombshells themed books. Is this run touted as the most widely considered best of the Bombshells? There's only like a couple of Bombshells run. This is considered the main one, and from what I've heard from reviews, people prefer this run to the Bombshells United run that follows it. And I think as far as like this kind of theme, and I think Jess can speak to this too, because that Gotham City Garage is also a similar sort of deal. Mostly focuses on female characters, but a different setting. That book was not good. This was definitely way better than that. And that's not saying a lot, but Gotham City Garage was not good.
And I wanted to like it because the premise was interesting and the statues were great.
Post-apocalyptic, like, biker gang world.
Yeah.
Where one was like this mythic biker lady. I have the figure. It was bad.
Yeah. Those are two books that I don't know if they're I have them right here. I don't know if they're staying in this next reorg. I really wanted to like them, but I don't know. They're
not good.
And I like the writing team, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. They've written a couple of things that I like.
That's bad.
But yeah.
So question for Kristan. I guess it would fit for all of us, but I think mostly Kristan. Were there any DC characters you found that you wanted to learn more about after reading this, or maybe some you grew to like more after reading?
Well, you guys were talking about Batgirl, and it makes me want to jump in on that Batgirl reading with you guys because I'm like, well, she's definitely not a vampire. Like, I know in real life she's not a vampire, so I'd be interested to know how she is.
Yeah, she's characterized very differently. Like the guy she's in love with, was he in the comic book? Because I've never heard that name, and I've read 2 full Batgirl runs.
Where?
The engineer, Luke, yeah.
Luke?
He's the guy she was in love with.
He's like an engineer. I mean, I don't
know.
I don't know. I
didn't care about him. So when she found him again, I was like...
You were like, whatever. Leave him there.
But no, if you ever, like, I read all of New 52 Batgirl and Rebirth, which some people are like, but Maddie, they ruined her. She's dumb. I'm like, no, she's fun. She can be smart and still go get coffee with her friends.
Oh yeah,
just because she's quirky.
I read a few issues of that one actually, and I was like, "Oh, this is fun," because people were like hating on it. So I was like, "I gotta read it now."
I love it. I love that. I love the same era of like Batgirl and Birds of Prey. I bought all of those. I thought they were really fun. I want to cosplay her. I understand that she's different than the Oracle that came before New 52. Mm-hmm. I understand where it is problematic, where she wasn't in a wheelchair anymore. I get it. This is what I started with. I loved all of that run. Tracksuit Barbara Gordon is the only Barbara Gordon I want. She wears Doc Martens and has pockets. And she doesn't need money. She made like a really cool app and sold it. She's good. She's got money forever. She's got a diverse group of friends. She's
is this
really funny.
Burnside?
Yeah, Burnside.
Yeah. Yeah, they totally well, I was going to say they dropped the ball on not making that an Omni, but then I think the writer did something, and I don't think they're going to make an Omni of it.
We're going to get the Gail Simone one, though.
Oh, okay. That's the
that's coming out in like March.
1, and then it stopped, and then Burnside Babs took over after that.
Wait, you mean actually, Gail Simone? Actually?
Yeah, actually, Gail Simone. Somebody asked about it. They're like, let Gail Simone be here.
That's funny.
You heard about that, Jess, right?
Yeah, I saw your your post last time.
We'll never get over it.
I don't blame you.
I literally I think I mansplained to her about her own book. Because she was like, does this book come out today? And I was like, if you were actually Gail Simone, you would know that it does. Because I saw you tweet about it today. She's like, oh, I should know it came out today. And I was like...
A lot of times those guys don't know when books are coming out. Like Omar and I announced to a guy at Baltimore, I can't think of who it was now, that a book of his was coming out in absolute form, and he was from England. He's like, "That's jolly good. I had no idea. Is coffee on the rail? Let's go get some. I'm so excited. I can't believe it." It was like 9:30.
Accent's my favorite.
He was, and so that's how. I don't think they know.
That's the one.
And something he caught a hashtag. So
he's the problem.
Yeah, that I mean,
read Rebirth with me on the app. It'll be fine. We can read Rebirth Batgirl and Rebirth Batgirl and Birds of Prey because they go together really well.
Done. I feel like I'll be less confused by that.
You will.
Yeah.
Yeah, count me in when you want to read the Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain ones too.
Let's just do some Batgirl stuff because everyone has told me that the Cassandra Cain stuff is amazing. Same with the Stephanie Brown.
Yeah,
I've never touched it. I have no idea.
And now you have a long fingertip.
Yes, supposed to be from England. The accent spot on.
I'm like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins.
But yeah, so I enjoyed a lot of this. I really enjoyed seeing a lot of these characters in different settings. I enjoyed the new characterization. I felt like it was a little too long. I feel like they put a little too much in there. And I was a little bummed that they kept changing artists.
Yeah.
Because they did this thing that a lot of series do, where they get you in the beginning with the one artist you think is going to be there the whole time. Marguerite's, I'm not good. It's not Savage. It's like Sauvage or something, but I know I'm saying it wrong. They just get you with that. And you're like, oh, this is beautiful.
Oh,
this artwork. My God.
Marguerite Bennett signed my first grade paperback.
I love that you forgot.
I totally forgot. I met her in 2018 at Baltimore. She was so nice.
I really liked her art, and then it would switch. And again, most of them were good. There's just a couple you're like,
where you could really tell the difference.
Really?
Yeah.
Y'all. I hate being like that, but it was such a and Jess and I've talked about this before, where it's nice to have something that's consistent, right? And it was such a oh God, it was a shock when it changed. You're like,
yeah, the first volume, it was all, if it changed, it was all sort of in the same vein. This is a different artist than the very beginning of the book. This is Bilquis Evely, but Mirka Andolfo's in there somewhere too.
And Jessica said this started out as like a web series to advertise for the statues. So I could see where in the beginning that's how it went, and how maybe they wanted to continue this way. Maybe it made it easier for the issues to come out. I'm just assuming. But there were some that were better than others.
Yeah. And they didn't need to have a webcomic to get me to buy the statues. They just had to have a picture of the statues in front of me. And I said, oh, okay.
I want to cosplay everything now after reading it. That's the one really good thing about this. I'm like, add that to my list. Add this to my list.
All the bombshell covers framed.
Which I love. Oh man, can we talk about how Joker's daughter was the creepiest, sleaziest?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Disgusting.
That was
She was
weird.
so gross and it needed to have somebody be that way, but she was such a gross abuser and manipulator.
Mm-hmm.
They really did a good job of making her scary
Twisted.
accurate, like a real abuser would be. She's just so creepy. The way she was with Satana, the way she was with Raven. I was like,
Some major mind manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's gross.
Also
that
her
creeped me
teeth.
out. Oh, so gross.
Yeah, that's a statue I won't be getting.
No. I don't like her at all. It's upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I add that did we need to have as many songs as we had? Can we just
There were a lot of songs.
there were a lot of songs, guys.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that in going over this again. I don't think I paid attention.
Oh, reading it straight through as Maddie and I did, I think we probably noticed it more. But ooh, so many songs.
Yeah, there was one book. I went over it earlier. Like the whole first half of the book is a song.
Yeah. And I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
That's hard for me to read in a book because, like, I don't know what tune that's in. I don't know how it's supposed to, you know.
Oh man, I really felt for you too with like so Zatanna. I mean, I'm sure you call it immediately, but the way she does magic is by saying words backwards. And normally I'm really good at reading those, but then I think it's the font, and I was just like,
yeah, I had no idea what was happening. Yeah. Eventually I was like, oh, okay, it's backwards. But then I was like, what is that? Like,
well, I think Nico Minoru does the same thing or something. I think one of there's a Marvel character that's very similar. But yeah, I know that now, but I'm like, oh wait, she might not know. That's how this
I'm
works.
sure there's tons of stuff that just went way over my head.
Yeah, that singing stuff was hard to read. It was hard to see what it was saying and what story it was trying to tell. Because you're right, I had no idea what tune I was supposed to be singing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was just words that were sort of generally had something to do with the panel that they appeared on.
Yeah, and it's like, if it rhymes, at least, I don't know how a lot of people read this, but I do start, something in my head starts kind of sing-songing it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's nothing like it's supposed to sound. It's very like, you know, Pledge of Allegiance or something. Like, there's not much to it, right?
It's not like Scott Pilgrim where they give you like,
Right, that's true.
One thing I did like is that I finally found out who Vixen was, because I had never seen Vixen before.
Oh, really? See, that's a character I knew because of Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, damn. I gotta see that show. You have been
Jess, that's a
promoting
show
that a
for
lot.
you. Just skip the first season, maybe even the first two. Watch the rest. It is totally your type of show. It's the most comic book show out there. It's so fun. And I'll fight anybody in the chat who tells me to. Because people do, they're like, screw Legends of Tomorrow. And I'm like,
Tomorrow, I only seeing her in the Queen's book was the only place I've ever seen her, and it was I like the characterization of her as the Queen of
Zambezi,
and that she was like the Queen, and she was like the Jesse Owens competitor in the 1936 cool. Olympics. I liked that that run, and I think this is what right.
Because she ran.
Yeah, I think this is what the Bombshell looks like, and this is Bosch looking.
Yeah, no, I really liked her. I was surprised that she was with Hawkgirl. Also, I'm surprised that they used Hawkgirl and then still put in Thanagar, because I was like, I didn't understand the Rand-Thanagar War when I read it. And I was like, Kristen's not going to understand what Thanagar is.
No.
I don't understand what Thanagar is.
Wasn't even sure that's how you said it.
Because that was full of just like DC knowledge. It was like Thanagar, like the metal you find, because it's all about that. And I have a poor working knowledge of that. And I'm like, no, this is going to go over my head and Kristen's.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Jessica says, I want to read this. I probably stopped by my local comic book store this week to buy The Other History of DC Universe. I'm stoked for that.
Oh, what is this now? The Other History of DC Universe?
Yeah, so it's like, I think Jessica can describe it better, because I don't have a complete knowledge of all of it, but I think it's a bunch of like short stories, right? Jessica, you tell Jess what it is. You're better than me.
Justice League Unlimited. Vixen is amazing there. Okay. I'm not caught up on that.
Freddie, you would definitely like Young Justice because it's like X-Men Evolution, basically. It's
I haven't
teens
seen any of that.
and angst.
I mean, I do like teens superhero stories, so of course.
And it's a good one. It has a similar feeling to original Teen Titans, but a little more mature.
That's fun.
It's good. And it's got my boy in it, so
Then I'll know about your boy.
Ray Harper's in it from the beginning. So it's really good.
There was one character I was going to ask about. I'm trying to find her to like remember her name. Her last name was Charles. The like lieutenant woman or whatever she was.
Who is she?
Yeah, what's her deal? I was like, what's her deal? I really like her.
Cool, and
She was awesome.
Chains.
Yeah.
She was black. She's on the Suicide Squad, and she
like
had,
led it.
walking aids.
I think she must have been a new character for this series.
What a bummer. I was like, oh, I'll get to read about her.
She
No.
had walking aids, but they were also swords.
She was cool.
Oh, thank you, Kenneth. So the other history of the DC universe is about black superheroes. So that's why it includes like Vixen and Black Lightning, because I knew it included Black Lightning.
Okay.
And I love Black Lightning.
As a show?
As a show and as a character.
Okay.
I think it's because he's a dad and a principal.
Oh.
I just like when characters are dads.
And a principal.
Yeah, because he's like has a day job. And he loves his wife and his kids. And he doesn't have any they're not like, they're just together. It's great. That's why when Superman became a dad, way better. Yeah,
This woman.
So cool. She was so cool.
This woman? Yeah, she was awesome.
Yeah. Does anyone know?
Yeah, what's her deal? Who is she?
I think she was made up just for this series.
I
All
really
right.
like her.
Yeah, she's one of my favorites.
Well, that's good. You had somebody you liked.
I like this characterization of Renee Montoya because she's normally. Did you read Gotham Central, Kristan?
Are you asking me? We read that together.
Thank you.
Nice.
But yeah, so I did know who she was. I was like, hey!
Yeah,
I didn't know she had a relationship with Batwoman, but I found out.
Well, I think they were like, she's a canon lesbian. She's a canon lesbian. Together.
I wondered if there was an actual previous history, or they were like, this makes sense. We'll do this.
I don't think so.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. I think the only no, Harley and Ivy, they sort of bounce around, I guess, but
to me, that's a canon couple.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I was so pleased not to give anything away with the ending of season 2 of the Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn.
Oh, you have my login, Kristan, so you can just watch it.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
Not to, because it's gay and it's hilarious.
Well, I love Kaylee Cuoco, so I'm in.
You're gonna love it. I think Reed will love it too, because the humor is ridiculous.
Definitely do that.
Ridiculous, and King Shark is adorable, and Kite Man is important.
Hell yeah.
He just has a kite. That's his thing. I love him.
I'm into that
so much.
Oh, and Lake Bell is so good as Poison Ivy.
Great too.
He's great.
She is so
I like both of them. Well, great.
And they have an old guy on their group. He's just old. I don't know. He's just great.
Oh, Sai?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from the New 52 run.
Oh, so he's from something. I was
from Jason Alexander does his voice. He's from the Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Connor run.
Man, Harley is it's a brilliant cartoon.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. I had the most fun with both those seasons. Ryan Sace and I both agreed we could not wait for Fridays, because Fridays when the new shows would come out.
Yeah.
We were on those things. I loved that show, and I'm so glad it's getting a 3rd season.
Me too.
That is you'd think DC would have been dumb and canceled it halfway through season 1.
Yeah, because they've canceled. I mean, like, luckily, this past year, my favorite 3 DC shows have been Stargirl, because it's perfect. Harley Quinn, perfect. Legends of Tomorrow, ridiculous. The fact that Cisco was on the finale and sang the thong song, I'm sorry, that's a 10 out of 10.
Amazing, actually.
They did a fight to the thong song. You can't get better than that. They had an episode where the 2 lesbians get lost in a Fantasy IKEA. IKEA, Kristan.
I mean,
Lesbians, and they don't die. Spoiler alert.
well, that's good to know. I like that spoiler.
And they don't die.
It's amazing.
The floor is, like the bar is so low, right? I have a very low bar for like queer representation. A couple that stays together doesn't die.
Oh my gosh. Did you watch Happiest Season?
I did, but we're going to watch it again, right?
Okay, yeah, we'll watch it together. We both watched it.
I went ahead and watched it because I couldn't wait. But we're going to watch it with you later.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry, Jess. That was our sidebar. We're back now.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's a new lesbian Christmas movie.
It's on Hulu. It's called Happiest Season. You should check it out. It's a great cast, actually. An amazing cast. So you would actually probably like it.
It's really funny.
It's really good.
It's funny?
It's funny.
It's very funny.
Oh.
It's really
you will know like a lot of the actors in it. I can't think of the parent's name. But they're both very famous.
Oh yeah, very famous. I say.
Like I know they're famous. You'll know who they are, just can't think of their names.
Let me write this down then.
It is. I found it very delightful. So
I never gave you my IST order.
Oh yeah.
I pulled that at the beginning of the show.
Matthew definitely. Oh, by the way, shout out to Matthew. I got to pick up my wedding present from him that he said it was at Omar's a million years. But I finally got to pick it up today, and I definitely cried because it's downstairs. But I'm going to post it on Instagram. But I wanted to give it a proper lighting.
Is that the one you showed me?
Yeah, I sent it to Kristan.
Oh, it's great. That's great.
But he drew me a picture of Donna Troy, and it was wonderful. I was like, this is great. I cry about everything. That's normal.
That's good.
But still.
Okay, so, shows. We'll have it under movies. What's it called?
Happiest Season.
Happiest Season.
I watched it with Reed. He loved it too.
Freddie is losing his mind over Young Justice in the chat. Kristan, we're going to have to watch it together.
Yeah.
Add that to the things we have to watch remotely together.
Let's do it.
Because I also need to watch Clone Wars if you'll watch that with me.
I will, because I need to.
Matthew asks, do you really think Legends is better than Stargirl? I won't say it's better. I'd say it's different. It's just a different type of show. Like, I was telling friends that I don't want to watch Titans because I know it's not good. But Stargirl, perfect teen show with like mature content. And Luke Wilson's in it. Do you need anything else? No. He's a perfect dad. The end. It's Luke Wilson. He's a perfect dad. There's superheroes in it. Done.
I want to see the latest season of Titans for that new costume on what's her name?
Starfire's, yeah.
Starfire.
It does look really cool.
It was really good.
Really boss in that.
Man, I think it's hard because I love the Titans so much, and I have such a weird emotional connection to the characters. It's embarrassing. So I'm worried if I watch the show, I'll just be really upset because I know how they're supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just get mad. And I heard they try to put Donna with Garth. I don't know if that's true, but I'm like, Donna and Garth? His name is Garth? No.
I need to see Doom Patrol, which I have on DVD, and Swamp Thing still, which I have on DVD.
Yeah, Matthew was just saying that Swamp Thing was his favorite until Stargirl, and that is going on CW now, I think. So
it is right now. I've put in promos for it.
So much television I need to see.
Yeah, it's hard to catch up when there's like. I tell people it's hard to keep up with like my geeky stuff when at the same time there's regular TV shows I watch because I have a regular person life too. Like I watch normal TV.
Do you have two identities?
I mean, Reed and I love Shark Tank, so we watch that.
I would have never thought.
It's something we watch. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, my people in like the regular world, like my work or like at school, didn't know. that I'm like this. Now, the headset and the gamer chair is a little bit of a giveaway. People do bring that up. But overall, they don't know my secret life. That I'm live on YouTube twice a week talking with all you nerds. I say as a nerd also.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm scared to death that my boss come over and then she'll see all my, like, statues of buff ladies. She'll be like... Just be like... I don't know what to say about it. Oh, yeah, tell us about your IST list.
Oh, you want to hear about my order?
Yeah. What'd you order?
Also, I'm glad to hear Raphael is a straight Hispanic male who enjoyed that movie.
I saw that.
Good.
He says he's Hispanic.
And, still screaming. So I mean, they're canon in outside of a...
That's my question, yeah.
Bombshells? Kate and Renee? Because I'm cool with that.
Yeah. As far as I know, they are.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Okay, I got First Order Assassination Nation.
Yes!
I think you mean Assassin Nation.
Ass Nation?
No. Hey, yes.
Oh, so good. Kyle Starks. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Spider-Man, Fantastic Spider-Man trade paperback, Superior Spider-Man team up, Superiority Complex, Avenging Spider-Man. I didn't even know there was an Avenging Spider-Man, so I went all in on Avenging Spider-Man and got the complete collection. Jughead Hunger 1, 2, and 3. Jughead 1 and 2. Is
that the new series?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Archie 1941, that's by Mark Waid. Afterlife with Archie. Amazing Spider-Man Venom Incorporated. Spider-Man Deadpool 7, 8, and 9. That was my third order. Superior Scream. I did a lot of Spider-Man. Scream, Venom vs. X-Men, Edge of Venomverse. Then I did a bunch of Daredevil by Ann Nocente because I like her writing. And they haven't done anything about collecting her. Superman in the City of Tomorrow. Oh, and then Riley wanted me to get these books so that they would make a hardcover out of them because whatever I buy always ends up getting a hardcover.
That's hilarious. I mean, I buy books so they get a hardcover. Looks at Buffy books.
So I said, okay, Riley, I will do you the favor. Osborn, Evil Incarcerated, Osborn Identity, Spider-Man Extremist, Spider-Man
books.
Yeah. Underworld. Underworld Unleashed, that's a Mark Waid DC book. Peter Panzerfaust, which I have been waiting forever to finish, so I just went ahead and got it. Dragon Age. Is that a board game? Or a video game?
It's a video game. You bought the comic book?
It's by, it was by Greg Rucka. Greg Rucka,
yeah.
Yeah, so I decided it was a library edition.
Talk to me after you read it, because I wonder if that is enjoyable for people who don't play the game hardcore like I do. Your daughter would love the game, though, if she hasn't played it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I told Jess I'm going to be friends with his daughter. That's my goal. She's going to come on the show. We're going to review the Horizon Zero Dawn comic together.
Nice.
Yeah, I ordered, as a matter of fact, that's in this order. I ordered 2 copies of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, shit, I got to do that. Let me do that right now.
With Spider-Man, $20.99. That was my order.
That's quite an order.
I know. Well, when it's 47% off, I feel like it's...
Man, that's so good.
And they're all thin trades, which I love. I just love being able to
You can
blast
burn through them, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love these size things because you can just burn right through them and get a full story.
Lionheart asked if I was finished my buying ban. If so, would I buy? Technically, no.
But there you are.
Well, there's a couple of exceptions. Like, I bought the library edition of the Critical Role comic book because I already owned the trades, and so I wanted to trade up, and I gave it to a friend because I'm a slut for library editions, you know.
Aren't we all?
I'm going to quote you on that.
Do it. I'll wear a shirt. I'll say I'm a slut for library edition, or like I'm a slut for Image Deluxe editions. And then on the back it'll be like no dust jackets. Oh, you know what, Kristan? We need bomber jackets, and what I can do is I'll embroider the back, or I'll use my cry cut, and we just put Team No Dust Jacket.
Yes.
Put some numbers on it, and we'll
100%.
matching outfits.
Yes. You've heard about Jess, right?
I heard you read it with your dust jacket on.
Yeah. What is that? I'm never going to be over it.
I got DJ shamed by Kristan into taking it off and reading about it.
I mean, that's how you damage them.
Hey, you were completely right.
Yeah.
It's funny that it took a public shaming by you to get me to do it. I was just never.
It's out of love. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't bought anything else. I'm gonna buy that Horizon Zero Dawn trade. Every once in a while I'll stop by the local comic book store. I've been buying more board games though. Like I've been getting back into Power Rangers. So I bought the board game for that, but it's related to the Boom comic book. So it's the same storyline and stuff. Library slut, is that really a thing?
It is now.
Why not? Raphael, I hate for you to find out this way, but then I hate dust jackets.
Yeah.
We both hate dust jackets.
Oh God, I hate them.
Well, and we just talked about, here's the reason why. You take them off to read it. So what's the point? Image is doing it right. They don't put a dust jacket
under the dust jacket.
Yeah. Great. You didn't bother me with the dust jacket.
Look at that. Mwah. Image.
Beautiful. You're killing it, Image. Yeah.
Beautiful. It's so good. But yeah. So it's hitting time, which normally I'd still chill and talk, but I need to go paint. As you can see, I have more painting to do.
Oh, nice.
Painting my kitchen cabinets. This is very exciting, regular adult things. So thank you so much, Jess, for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for asking me. This is fun.
Yeah, it's fun. And I enjoyed our last, if you guys want to come back, or if you guys want to watch when Jess and I did our Wonder Woman review, Gail Simone's Wonder Woman, that's on the Near Mint Condition channel. Unfortunately, Gail Simone did not show up for that one.
So weird.
So weird. She follows us on Twitter. That's
What?
weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
right after we ran to her Twitter. And we commented where she was like, I was just in a chat and nobody believed it was me. And I'm like, whoa, that was us.
Elliot was here and called
followed
her.
us off.
We called her Grail Simone. So I called her the Holy Grail Simone.
Yeah.
Elliot called her Gail Simone and Pumbaa because he's been
seriously,
on forever.
We got off and the first thing we all said, we're like, that was a bit, right? Like that was just some. And I really thought it was some guy who comes into the chat that I wasn't aware of, who just does this, right?
No, but people can change the name to anything, and so this happened with Shapon, right? When Shapon came on, was Sedgwick, I thought, okay, that's not him, right? And then it happened again.
Because why would it be him?
But with Gail, and I was like, this is because I love both of them a lot. These are my favorite people, right? And the fact that it's happened to me twice. It's you've got to be kidding me. This is ridiculous.
That's so awesome.
It is awesome, but...
And, no offense to him, but Gail Simone, I mean, that's crazy, though, right? That's why we were all like, no way, it's not. There's just no way. Fridging? No, there's no way that's Gail Simone.
It can't be. And then she's like, I wrote an Avril Lavigne comic book once. And we're like...
Because I randomly mentioned Avril Lavigne.
Well, I was like, that's bullshit.
And then we looked it up. And I bought it.
So now Chris and I have to review Avril Lavigne.
We're going to. It's going to be
have
so
to.
bad and funny.
Man.
You wrote an Avril Lavigne comic?
We have to read it. We are obligated to.
I had an Amazon gift card. I was like, I'm buying it right now. This is happening.
Oh, it's a hardcover or paperback or something?
I think
I
it's
think
some
it's a
old
paperback.
paperback. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to read
Cover
it.
art was so bad. It was so bad. I'm like, this is going to be
Oh,
terrible.
man.
I'm excited.
I spent all of 6th grade of my daughter going to and from school listening to that freaking first Avril Lavigne album.
Let go. Yep.
Oh my
I
God.
listened to it so much in my Walkman that the middle, the ring of putting it in and out was just cracked. That CD was just cracked.
Right.
I was like,
I knew
oh,
all the
let go.
I knew all the lyrics and just cried about it.
Oh,
Yes.
They took
Right?
it so seriously. We picked up this girl
Yes.
on the way to school, and they were crying every morning when I dropped them off at this Avril Lavigne album. I'm like, oh my
See, your daughter
Yes.
would love us.
Very
We're all the
relatable.
same
Yeah.
people. She would love us so much,
Yeah.
obviously. Same taste.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, I got sidetracked. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Chris and I should be back next Sunday. We haven't decided a schedule or what we're doing.
Oh, yeah. We
Normally,
got to do that.
we do that live, but we actually we talked. We actually filled the
Yeah.
time. We didn't get 30 minutes in and panic. Because we had a great conversation. So, but we'll post online.
Thanks to Jess. Thank you, Jess.
Yeah, because we had a great conversation. Yeah, so I hope you have a good night. The usual, stay safe, wear a mask.
Check out
be
IST.
careful.
They're still doing the
Check
sale.
out IST.
Buy
Get
all the
that
books Jess
sale in.
bought.
And if you're watching this later, or send us a message about what you're buying, or comment down below what you're buying, because I want to know. Because maybe
wanna
I'll
know.
buy something.
And if you're a slut for library editions, they have those.
Yeah.